want no fake love, me only want the real deal. Me don't want no fake love, me only want the real deal. Me don't want no fake love, me only want the real deal.
Have you ever met a sister with her shit together? Maintaining, never complaining, trying to make shit better. She's got a real good life with the right frame of mind. She's the real deal, baby, and she know how to grind. On the job or in the bedroom, baby, the truth. And with her by your side, homeboy, you can't lose. Just slip on the dress and go to work like a pro. Then bring that ass home and drop it down to the floor. Educated, sophisticated, conversation so deep. She's a lady in that world, but a freak in the sheets. Educated, sophisticated, conversation so deep. She's the lady in that world, but a freak in the sheets.
Shelly light and be lovebird.
Shelly light and be lovebird.
Shelly light and be lovebird. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
Shelly light and be lovebird.
Shelly light and be lovebird.
Shelly light and be lovebird.
Hey, everybody. Y'all come on in. I hope y'all can hear me okay. Shelly is running a little bit late, but she will be here shortly. This topic today came about because I was just talking to some friends and they were kind of going through this situation, and I wanted to put it out there to see, what people think about that, So I'm gonna go ahead and jump into this topic. You have raised a child all of his or her life, no paperwork involved. The biological parents decide to come and take the child or the children out of the home because they have issues with you that have nothing to do with the children. What do you or what would you do if that happened? First of all, a lot of people take kids when somebody have them because it's going to put the kids in a better situation. And as a parent, you should want what's best for your child in the first place. So if this person has taken care of that child from 0 to 10 years, 12 years, or whatever the case may be, why you want to come and take the child now? All the hard work is done for the most part. That person has put in their time, their energy, their love, all the support, their, everything that child needs. And you haven't so much as bought the child a t-shirt, but now because you got issues with whoever is raising the child, you want to come in and snatch the child from what they know. And I think that's just wrong. And then if the child doesn't want to go, then it's a problem. But, a lot of people say, well, that's why you should put things in order, get your paperwork in order before you do those things. And I'm a firm believer of getting, lining up your, dotting your I's and crossing your T's. But sometimes certain circumstances come up and you don't have time to do that. You just have to react, And then granted, you do have time along the way to rectify all of those things. And then, two, one, I get what you're saying, let the courts decide. And if you have proof that you've done all this and you keeping, accurate record of what you've been doing, it should be an easy, easy task for you if you go into court and say, look, I provided for this child, I've taken care of this child, I've done all this, that, and the third. And then the other parent comes in who hasn't so much as went to a school meeting, came to a birthday party, bought the child a birthday gift, all that, but you want to snatch your child from what it knows just because you're mad. So you're hurting your child or the children all over again. That's selfish and it don't make no sense to me. So I'm just saying, it's a slippery slope, and it's hard to deal with that when you got to deal with these people, because if you have no legal ramifications at that time, you're not the legal guardian, you're not the guardian or anything like that, they can't just come in and snatch these kids and may take them through holy living hell before they even know or get back accustomed to what they have, what they grew up in, So my question to the viewers is your ego more important than the safety and stability of your child? That's what I want to know from the people that's watching. Because so many times, and then, these parents that have these kids, a lot of times they be like, well, that's my child. You can't do this and you can't. Well, where were you at? Just because you birthed a child does not make you a parent, first and foremost. I'm going to just say that. There's plenty of people that have birthed children and are not a parent to these kids at all. And you have as many deadbeat mothers as you do deadbeat daddies. And I'm going to just keep it 100. And, people always want to point the finger at the dad saying, he ain't this and he ain't that. These mothers do it too. Drop the kid out from place to place, do all types of stuff, and, nobody wants to address that, but they always want to point the finger at the male. And it doesn't work like that all the time. Because I've seen with my own two eyes, going to court with different people or whatever the case may be, these men being here fighting for these kids, and the women be so vindictive and hell-bent on taking the man through hell that they'll say and do anything to keep the man from having custody of the child. And that's just crazy to me. One said a judge will look at the biological parents and ask them where they were and when the kids was growing up. Yeah, they may ask all of that one. And then some people, true, get themselves together. But at that point, you need to be an adult and go talk to the people that has raised your children or your child, and y'all come to a mutual agreement. You don't have to have the courts involved all the time. You only have to have the courts involved when ignorance comes into the picture. A lot of times, just to keep it real. So, you can fight that battle, but it's like, fighting an uphill battle. Every time you take 2 steps forward, they knock you 10 steps back because you're going back and forth with this person who doesn't even know the child. They just know they gave birth to the child, know the child's name, and don't know nothing else about the kid because they haven't been in the child's life. And I think that's wrong. And so then you playing tug of war with the child, using the child as a pawn in a get back because you mad about something, instead of being thankful and grateful that your child was with somebody who was willing to take care of a child that they didn't give birth to and wasn't theirs, may not even be related to them by blood. You know what I'm saying? But you have, like I said, anybody can have a child, but it takes somebody special to be a parent. You have to take care of these kids. And if you laying down there and you doing what it doesn't take one, what the repercussions is going to be if a child is born into that. So you need to be prepared, and we're not always prepared all the time, but when it happens, you have to prepare yourself regardless, because the child never asked to come here. So you need to step up and do what you're supposed to do and stop dragging people through hell because your ego is getting in the way. One said, hey, Leandra. Leandra said, sometimes the court makes the wrong decisions. They make the wrong decisions a lot of times, and that happened to me. I'm speaking from experience on that. That happened to me. So I know what the courts do, One said the child will be rejected by the biological parents because they were nowhere around. And, sometimes these kids, they want to flock to the biological parent just because a child always wants to know where they belong or where they come from. But then when they get over there and they see why they ended up where they were, some of them come back to their senses, but still a child always wants that love from the person who gave birth to them. That's just a given. They may say they don't want it. They may be like, I hate them or this or that or other, but they still want to know something about where they came from, about their biological parent, because regardless of who raises you, these kids still have some of the characteristics of their parents. A child don't have to be around a parent to be just like them. This is like you have people in your family that you've never met, and they say, boy, you just like so-and-so. And that could have been from decades ago, people who have passed on or whatever before you even came into the world. So you just have to be careful about that, because you don't know what you get unless you know the people personally, and then you know what you know what you're setting yourself up for. And the child may not always turn out like the parent, but sometimes they do, or have a whole lot of their characteristics. You just have to teach them differently, show them love, and show them what it is to be a good, decent human being, and let it go from there. Because this is like me or anybody else who have raised their kids. We could teach them and instill values and morals in them, but when they grow up, they're gonna go the way they want to go anyway. But they still gonna remember the shit that you taught them. That doesn't mean that they're gonna follow everything that you taught them. Yeah, so that's just what that is. Y'all know I gotta get my water in every day. I'm starting to like it more and more every day. I be trying to get my friend that's sitting up here being quiet to drink water. She'll never drink water. Shelly don't never drink no water. I don't know what's wrong with them, y'all. But they better drink some water. But yeah, so y'all chime in and let me know what y'all think about that. Take what you think about that.
Girl, I think it's messed up for one, but it's gonna happen. You ain't got the right paperwork. They can do what they want to do.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They can just come and snatch just because they're mad at you. They're gonna disrupt the child's whole life, and that's just not right.
If you don't mess with them or do what they want you to do, then it's giving my child back. And if you don't have paperwork to protect yourself, then of course there's nothing you can do about it. They can just take the child from you. It's not fair to the child because that messes them up mentally too. Because they're stable, they got a home, they got a bedroom, they got food, they got shelter, they're safe, and maybe where they're at, they don't have all those things, and they're being jerked, like pulling back and forth just because you don't do what the other one asks.
But not only that, said what you said. A lot of times the child is already scarred because you're not there in the first place. And then when you come and disrupt them from the life that they know, to take them to a life of shit sometimes, and sometimes it could be better. But that's why I say in any relationship, whatever you're doing, communication is key. I don't care what you're doing, communication is key. So if you talking to these people, and one thing you don't do either is bash the person as to why they're not in that child's life either. You know what I'm saying? They may have had some type of addiction. It could have been they just was in a bad space financially, whatever the case may be.
Just whatever. Or maybe they wasn't, able to raise them or something. But you're right. Don't never disrespect the other one, especially in front of the child, because that's not right.
That's even with your biological kids. I've never talked down on my kids' dads to them. I decide when you grow up, you'll see what it is. You don't have to tell them. They're gonna know for themselves.
Absolutely.
One said, but if they got witnesses that they took care of the child, the biological parent can't take them because you got to go take it to court and take your witnesses to get that straight. Yeah, that's true to a degree, but paperwork and black and white always rules. You got to have shit on paper, straight up. If you ain't got nothing on paper, I don't care. You got to keep receipts. You got to keep doctor's bills. You got to keep school records. You got to keep all that stuff when you walk into the courtroom. And from my experience, you can have all of those things and they'll still look at you and be like, nope, they'll find something wrong where they have to take the child totally away from their family to go be with some complete strangers or maybe another family member. And they don't tell them nothing about where they came from. And I think that's fucked up too. You know what I'm saying? Excuse my language, but it is. It's messed up because anybody needs to know where they come from. Why you think you have that the site where you can go try to look up people when you've been adopted and you've been this and you've been that? Because people want to know where they came from. They want to know why they are the way they are, why they do certain things the way they do them, why they, whatever the case may be. They want to know these things. You know what I'm saying? And then a lot of times, people be right around the corner that had these children, and they don't even know they're related to them. That's sad. But then they'll go and have a whole nother family or have a whole bunch of other kids, and you be like, well, and then that child, what's up, Chef? And that child will be like, well, why couldn't you keep me? Why was it so bad when you keep me? You made it bad. Why can't you make it for me? Oh, I'm about to switch outside, Chef. Hold on.
Okay.
I like the size we're supposed to be on. But y'all, she has joined the building.
Hey.
But yeah, so I was saying, just to sum it up, how these people that take care of children that are not theirs biologically, not even so much as showed up at a birthday party, a school event, a birthday present, or nothing, not even about the child a t-shirt, because they got an issue with you and get mad at you. They want to come and snatch the child from everything that they know. That's just wrong. And just because they've been vindictive, they're not thinking about the welfare of the child at that point. It's just for selfish reasons, especially if they still can't provide for the child. That just don't make sense. Leandra said, I know a male parent that brainwashed his children against the mother. Now that the girl is older and sees how the father is, the child is going to court to go back to the mom. Yeah, but that's a process too, Leandra. They got to wait till they're of a certain age before the courts even listen to them and get their opinion. And just because they tell the court that they want to stay here and they don't want to stay there, don't mean the court is going to agree with that child. So, you know, it's like you got to look at the big picture and the whole scheme of things. You know what I'm saying? And I was also saying stuff that just because you birth a child doesn't make you a parent.
Absolutely not.
Period.
My situation is not far from that.
Yeah, and you know, I was saying, you know, I know about how you can have everything in place to get a child because it happened to me, and the social worker was like, everything is fine at her house and blah blah blah. We went to the courtroom and they switched that shit up so quick and just sent the kids off. Like what? You know, you take them from somewhere where they're going to be sheltered, they were going to be loved, they were going to be taken care of, and put them with somebody they had no clue about, nothing.
Right.
And just took them away. So I was telling one, it doesn't matter. You can have all your paperwork and ducks in a row sometimes, and you go to court, and they still gonna rule the way they want to. It depends on the type of judge.
They believe that putting the child with their family is best. That's the objective. If you put the child with your family, that makes them better. And sometimes they don't even care what type of parent they are. It's just putting the kid back in the home with their biological parent.
But I'm saying, you know, counteracting that, I'm saying when you take the child away from the whole family who was more than willing, able, and capable of taking care of the child, and send the child away somewhere else with no roots with whoever. I'm talking about those things too. You know what I'm saying? You'd be like, you got this is at least if the child was still with some family member, wherever they may be, at least they're still with their blood relative and they can get to know still where they came from and what makes them tick, instead of them taking them and putting them totally somewhere else where they don't even know their identities half of the time. And especially when they, you know, love is love, but when they placing these black children in white homes, white children in black homes, the culture shock itself is different. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to be, you know, I'm just saying. But this topic came up, I was saying before when I came on, was because, man, a friend was talking about it and the shit that they kind of know people that's going through this situation. And I was like, well, dang. I said, well, that'd be a good topic because a lot of people actually go through that.
Right, all the time. All the time.
You know, and people don't talk about it. And then, you know, the parent will come in wanting to dictate, the biological parent want to come in and dictate to you how you doing their child or how you treating their child or what you doing, but you haven't done shit for the child at all. Nothing. Right. Like my mama say, Nathan, nothing. But you want to come in and be the mama. Yeah, you want to come in and tell me what I'm supposed to be doing with a child that you gave away and threw out in the wind. If you don't go somewhere and get out of my face, is what I'm telling you first. Because the next thing is the police don't have to come because I'm finna show my ass because it ain't no need for all that. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that. One said, but in that situation, the biological parents take the kids back, but the kid and the leaving them because they wasn't there for them through thick and thin. Not all the time. Sometimes these kids want that because they want their biological parents so much. They want that love. They had love, but they want the love from the person that birthed them. Excuse me. So sometimes they get it misconstrued and be like, well, I'm going over here with my real mama or my da-da-da-da-da. And then they hurting the people that actually raised them and took the time to nurture them and all that kind of stuff. And then you got the 9 times out of 10, the biological parent over there bashing the people that took care of you. You can't do that.
Happens every day.
Communication is key in everything. One said the child ended up running away from the biological parents. That's why they come up missing. Sometimes. That's called looking for love in all the wrong places.
Wrong places.
Acceptance in the wrong places.
Yep.
You know, I've learned in my life, I love who loves me. That's it.
Facts.
And we talk about that a lot. We talk about that a lot amongst ourselves.
Yeah, love who loves you. You know, you're out here running, looking for stuff that ain't fitting and you're trying to force it together. Love what loves you.
That's what you were saying on your live earlier. If it don't fit, don't force it.
Don't force it, right.
Don't force it. Is that gum good, girl? I'm about to call 911 for it.
I'm so hungry. I mean, it's crazy. I'm so hungry. I was
Because
running
Pastor
here
Lee
trying to
said,
get
call
here.
911 because Von killing that gun.
I was trying to get here, trying to get on this
Look,
cast.
that's why I don't even chew gum on here no more because I know I be gone with it. It's like it calms my nerves when I chew
See,
gum.
if I don't chew the gum, I'm gonna find something else to munch on. Then you'll be like, "You always crunching." I can think
Yeah,
of 20
that's
things to
true.
chew on right now.
But you ain't said nothing to spit it out and get to eating
No,
anyway.
it's just as dry. Trust me, it's just as dry as it want to be. It is dry.
Yeah, y'all. But that's why I was saying that, y'all. So what's your take on it, Shelly? You know, what's your take on this?
Well, my situation is not far from that. I have
I
a
didn't want to
baby.
say it. I wanted you to tell me. It wasn't none of my business to tell you.
Yeah, I have a baby. She's not my biological baby. And, and I've raised her from very young, birth from a little baby. And
2-3 months
she's
old.
three, she's like 3 years old now. And now the biological mother wants her rights. And I feel like that's a negative because I have brought her to where she is and I'm what she knows. But and to me, it's more like, how dare you? How dare you come back and want to do anything? Because now you're trying to interrupt her world, and her world is happy. Why would you want to take what's happy and make it chaotic when all it knows is happiness? She doesn't know anything. She doesn't know what it feels like to wake up in anything chaotic. She don't know what it feels like to hear somebody screaming at her. She doesn't know what it feels like to go to bed hungry. She don't know none of that. So to take her out of her comfort zone would be an injustice at this moment. So it's just a battle we fight, and how dare you get mad at whatever she calls me, you know what I mean? Because you weren't there, and not because somebody stopped you just wasn't, you wasn't my choice. So you look at those things and it's hard because, I sit sometimes and I weigh it, because she's a part of me. She's a whole part of my whole world. So it's rough.
So just say, hypothetically, right? We know what you've done. The child, you the mother that she knows. That's it.
Uh-huh.
So you go to court one day. Lord forbid, I never want that to happen. And they'd be like, well, I think it's time for her to be with her biological mother. You knowing what it is, and they don't know, and they just on the outside looking in, but you know the whole story. And then you've gotten this attachment to this child. You love this child like she's your own. What would you do?
It's like that the story in the Bible when the lady said, cut the baby in half, and then the real mother said, no, just give it to her. That's kind of what it feels like. It's like when I think about it, when I think about it now, what I can't rest well in my soul is like the thought of her being somewhere calling for me and I'm not there to get her and I'm not there to answer. Mm-hmm. And she's saying mommy, because that's what she knows. So that's a lot. That's a lot.
But at this point, if that was to happen, it would be like that child is taken to a foreign country, literally.
Because she doesn't know, and like I said,
that's what I'm saying.
It's not because at any time anybody told her biological mother she couldn't come around. She made a conscious choice not to come around, and you can't tell a kid, when a kid is a baby, you can't tell a child. They learn in school. They learn to say, that's my mommy, that's my tata, that's my whoever. They learn this in school. It's not something you teach them. I never from day one did I ever tell my baby to call me mommy. She just did. And that's probably because I treated her like a child. I treated her like she was my own. And if the day comes when I have to tell her the story, hey, this is how it goes, I don't think she'll change. I think all she's going to know is that she had a mother that showed her love. That's it. That's all. Because that's all she knows.
She's smart, so she already asking questions like, "Why do you look like that? Why do I look like this?
Yeah. Why am I dark? Why are you light?
She said, "Why am I dark? Why are you white, Mom?" She said, "Why you white?" She said, "Why you white, Mom?"
Yeah,
just traumatized a little baby. But that's what I'm saying though. And then just because she may be upset with you because the child calls you mommy because that's all she knows, snatch away from you. But then what you gonna do with her? Your lifestyle won't even allow you to have a child in your life right now.
Right. And then when you get her, what do you tear apart to make a point? You know what I mean? How far do you go to make a point that this is my baby? That's the part. Where's the love you have for that kid to say, I love her too much to tear her world apart because all she knows is to be happy. That's it.
But too, you have people that they know what's best for their child, but they don't want to look bad in other people's eyes for somebody taking their kid and raising them the right way. I know a lot of people like that too. You know, and I'll be like, well, shit, you can't do it. Let them people go ahead and take care of the baby. That's the best thing for the child right now. You can't even take care of yourself. So why would you drag this child through that trying to wonder what that you and the baby gonna eat? Where you and the baby gonna sleep? Where this, where that's gonna happen? Where the baby gonna have some diapers, some shoes, whatever the case may be. Whoever wants to take care of the baby, let them take care of the baby. The baby's not gonna be mistreated.
Half. And rightfully so. You know. Right.
Yeah.
Half. And rightfully so.
Look, hey.
It's a whole mess. It's a whole mess.
That cracked me up, y'all. One said there has been cases where the biological parents end up getting shot or killed because of the biological parent coming and taking and being their feelings being hurt. Yeah, that happens a lot of times too. Like all these children is getting missing. I think that's a lot of the case when these little babies getting snatched up and you know they can't find little 2-year-olds and 1-year-old. What you rolling your eyes for?
Because this person is irritating me already.
So rude. You can't be doing that in other people's houses.
I know, right? Somebody else's place. I had that part.
You so damn rude. I'll be like, you got to go.
Not at all.
Up at me.
Never ever that. Nope.
Yeah, I know. Stuck like glue. Stuck like glue.
You welcome.
Yeah. I would love to get that opinion, but I guess I can't right now. Yeah, no. I can't. Go. Never mind.
What opinion? On what?
Comment. I'm talking to somebody else to chime in. Go comment on the topic.
So,
all right. See? I heard it.
I really don't. He don't have no purpose.
I hear good when I want to. You hear me? Look, Steph, I hear good when I need to.
I know, right? He's way over
there. All right. Yeah, but real though. But you know, and then, but you know, they say to hurt people. So a lot of times people do those things to throw you off because they're hurting. But why would you want your child to go through that if you know you're taking that child from a happy place? That don't make sense. Leandra said, if mom really loved this child and the child is in a good place, she should back off. I totally agree with that, Leandra. I mean, she can still have a relationship, but just leave the child leave the child's best interest in the equation. You know what I'm saying?
I think in my situation, it's more of a trump card. You know, it's more like I'm going to show you
a pawn in chess.
You know, it's more of a trump card situation. It's more like I'm going to let you know, but I think what will probably be the factor is when you take her home and she's waking up in the middle of the night and saying, "Where is my mommy? Where is my mommy?" And you got to tell her, and you got to tell her who you are, and she don't know, and can't comprehend it,
and gonna ask questions,
and gonna ask
a lot of
questions. Like, you know, where's my mommy? So you can't, nah. You know,
Richard is like, he'll be like, "Who are you? I don't know you."
Yeah, and really rightfully so. You know, and she's a very intelligent baby. She knows the difference. She knows when something's shifting in her world. She's very attentive and alert to everything. That's my whole world.
She really like 25 or 30 for real.
And a young 3-year-old body.
In a little body, yeah. But she is very smart and she pays attention to everything. So
attention to detail.
Yeah, she does. She would know. But you know, huh?
You were so rude. Your top. People so rude. Black people.
You ain't black today?
This one right here is rude.
It's the difference between black people and niggas.
Well, you don't call a spade then.
Look, my brother-in-law said, I like black people. They said niggas. That's what I was
saying. Keep them good.
Oh, God.
Come on, he just bring the noise.
Yep.
How you just want to make me go show?
Because you talking in it. That's why.
Everybody can hear it.
Okay, that's the point I'm trying to make.
Everybody
Duh.
can hear.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But anyway, but yeah, you know, you see that all the time though with people. And then the person that's taking care of the child be going through all the stress and unnecessary bullshit, trying to prove to the person like, well, and you know, it's easy to say, well, just come and get him and let me see what you do with him. But then you don't want to hurt the child yourself because you already
Right.
know these people living wherever they living at.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Especially having people in and out, partying all the time, or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? And the child don't know nothing about this stuff, never been exposed to it.
True.
And
And
then
you know,
you like,
like I say, it's I say this all the time. Anybody can be a daddy. Anybody. But you cannot be a mother and a father to a kid, just that simple. Anybody can be, anybody can take a kid, do the parts as a parent, run through the game, but it takes a whole lot of responsibility when you're like being a mother and a father to a child and actually living your role as that. Like I sacrificed my whole life to take this baby at my age, but
yeah.
you know, but I, you know, loved it from birth. So it didn't take anything off my pay. I didn't lose anything, put it like that. I just gained something amazing.
Right.
That's it.
Right. That's how you got to look at that.
Yeah, I gained something amazing.
But like I was saying, because somebody was saying earlier, and I said too, if the paperwork is not involved, and you know me, I say this all the time, even when we just talking amongst us, get your shit in order. Period. I don't care what it is. Have your papers in order. As far as like even with us, while we're here and in good sound mind, good health, get your stuff in order. Your insurance for your kids, whatever. Go get this. Who's gonna do that? Same thing when you're dealing with this type of situation. Get your stuff in order. And sometimes it gets pricey. You know,
Right.
people don't talk about that when you start to go into adoptions and you know legal guardianships and all this type of stuff. You know, it can get
No, it
pricey.
is. It's a lot of work. It's not
It's a
1,
lot
2,
of work.
3.
It's a
You
lot
know.
of time, a lot of energy. Sometimes a lot of headache and a lot of heartache. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is get these things in order. So when somebody come at you, only thing you gotta do, like I said earlier, pull out
Here's
this
my
paper.
paperwork that
Get the
shows
hell on
that
off
this
my
belongs
property.
to me. Yeah,
That's it.
exactly.
Yep, get on off my property. Get up. Hey, Joseph, how you doing? He said, I
Hey,
found my
Joseph.
father side of my biological family in Hickory, North Carolina. I know who you are. You my cousin Cheryl's brother. I know. And you look like him too. But yeah, so you know, it's just I don't know. This is different. But then you know, I think Joseph, I don't know the whole story or whatever, but that family, I know when you show up, they're going to embrace you. You know what I'm saying? And we don't know if it was a situation, I'm not saying that this is what happened, whether the mother just snatched you away and just, you know, because sometimes people be mad because the man won't be with them and just take the kid away. You know about that too, Cheryl.
Right.
You know,
Right.
just, and then, Nat, I got it too. But then, you know,
Okay. Okay.
now I had the window
Weird.
open earlier.
Okay.
You know, I got all these trees. But no, and they only know what the other parent has told them about their other parent. So they build this story and then this starts to like build up in a child and they have this idea of what the other parent is just from what the
Right.
mother or the father that they're with have told them until they get to meet the person. God forbid if the person passes away before you're able to meet them and see for yourself how this person truly is.
How it is. Yeah.
You know,
That's true.
because you know a lot of times women and men would damn pour salt on the other parent because they're mad and they salty about that to the kids, and I think that's wrong on everything.
But that's because people and they leave relationships so toxic that they don't realize that they leave it that toxic. If you leave a situation and it's ended in a cordial way, you don't have them issues. It's when you leave it and it's all over the place.
Wait a minute.
You gotta turn that down.
Sometimes you can leave cordially, but the minute that you start seeing somebody, that's when it turns. You got to think about that too. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes it can be cordial as all get out. But then the minute that person knows you with somebody else, what's all that noise?
Okay. Rude. Now you know how we turn it down about 5 times, right?
Yeah. Could you turn it down, please?
All the way, please.
I don't know where everybody at.
Like,
but you know, but I was saying that to say sometimes they can just put so much bad shit on the other parent to the child that don't want nothing to do with that parent only because of what they've heard from that other parent. And I think that's wrong. You don't do that.
Yeah, that's true. It's interesting. It's you know, but you know, like I said, when you going through the courts and you fighting the courts and stuff, the courts is about putting a child with their biological parent, unless you can prove that that parent is like the worst parent under the sun of God. And you would hope you wouldn't have to scar somebody's reputation to that, you know, to that degree.
So how do you feel about parents that voluntarily sign away their parental rights? They don't want nothing to do with the kid at all.
Well, you know, that's how my other stepchild is. Her mother signed her.
I think that parent ain't shit, because whether you can take care of the child or not, depending on if it's a financial situation, whatever the case may be, you should still leave a line open and communicate with the person that's taking that child to be like, look,
but you got to think about it like this.
Forget about me.
Right.
Sometimes the parent is. Sometimes the parent hates the father that much that they feel like that's the one thing that can hurt them, is to just disconnect themselves from the whole child. It's almost like I'm erasing you and I'm erasing it, and that's where the pain comes in at. So I think that's why people do that.
That's what I was saying. Red said, my mother won't even claim me because of that situation. That's what I'm talking about, because they have so much, what she just said, and I said earlier, that they have so much hate for the person. You decided to lay down with this person. That has nothing to do with the child, because the child never asked to come into the world. You should have thought about that, what the repercussions could have been and what could have happened if you sleep with somebody. You can get pregnant, you may not get pregnant. You can get a disease, you may not get a disease.
And you might not,
be good, it may be bad. I don't know. I'm just saying that's wrong as hell for you to just dismiss the whole child because you mad at the daddy, or you don't like the daddy, or because the child look just like the daddy. And because you know, you got a lot of people that mistreat their kids because they look like their father,
which is crazy as hell.
That's true, one, that you do reap what you sow. But in the end, and I've seen this happen too, the ones they threw away be the ones that have to come back and take care of them when they get in their old age and need help. A lot of times it happens just like that. Because my mama always said, she said, God will make your enemy your footstool. You got to be careful how you treat people. It don't matter who it is or how old they are. He said, my father was black and 35, mother was white and 15. Oh Lord, they was trying to throw him under the jail at that time, Red, for real.
Yeah,
that's what would have happened with that. So, you know, and then you born a mixed child back in that time, it was difficult. Because they would probably kill them or something like that, you know what I'm saying? Accuse them of rape or whatever the case may be back in that during that time. Yeah, so you know, it's crazy, but you see people all the time be like, you know, just mean to the kids because they look like the other parent. That just only makes sense to me.
I used to think I was adopted.
I used to ask my mama that all the time when I was growing up. She said, girl,
only because, you know, like my sisters are really short and I'm like 5'9". So I was like wondering why they was like 5'1" and looked like they looked and I looked like I look.
Well, it could have came from ancestors before then. Your uncle was tall.
Yeah, I figured that out later on in life, but I did for a long time. I was like, I can't be kin to them.
He said, so is that why my mom won't claim me? It could be. I mean, we don't know. And you know, you got to think about too, Red, back during that time, how racism is real now. It was real.
Yeah, it was real bad back then.
You know what I'm saying? And then he this little short chocolate man driving these fancy cars and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And ain't no telling what would have happened if had. So they probably tried to hide you because they didn't want the other white folks in that community or that area or that family to know about you. That could have been it. Because, you
And then
know,
you come out the wrong color, and that causes
that
a
was
lot
a
of
really
confusion.
racist time. Yeah.
Being biological at that time was not a good time. Being light skinned wasn't good at that time because it means they know somebody dipped off in the Kool-Aid.
Because you're mixed, but you just look like you're light skinned. You don't look like you mixed. So that would automatically know, okay, wait a minute now. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
like what's the
saying?
problem?
Yeah. When I was born, I was real light with blue eyes.
Yeah.
But look at me now.
And I was a whole
red.
light skinned baby with red hair.
My hair was red too, like sandy, dusty, brownish
Just
red.
a regular
Yeah.
one.
So, you know, that could have been a lot of what it was during that time in the era, Red.
But you know, some
want
things
to
you
know
never
why.
know. And you gotta, you know, some decisions back then was really hard to make. So I wouldn't even blame your mom or your dad because you don't know, you know, back then it was a little different. Nowadays people having kids and just tormenting the kids and giving them away, that's different than way back in the day when you didn't have no say so on a lot of stuff you did.
And then, you know, it could have been too, had she claimed you or whatever, they might have disowned her. She wouldn't have had nowhere to go, been in the streets. Anything could have happened. I don't know. But I'm just saying, when you do certain things, you should know what the repercussions are going to be, even at 15, you know.
Right.
He said, I just want to know my family now. I want to know where I came from. That's what I was saying. Yeah, I know your dad died. But that's what I was saying. Kids, regardless of what the case may be, a child always wants to know where they came from. Always.
Did you ever do like a family tree?
Or ask your aunt.
Not family tree, like ancestors.com and see how many people come up with your DNA. Because that's what my sister did. And she done found the whole world. Trust me. Every ancestor across the country, my sister has found just from ancestry.com. Like people we just didn't even know.
With that, I think sometimes people need to be left where they're at.
Yeah, but if you don't know, like in his case, if you don't know and you really don't know, like, you know, and you haven't a clue, sometimes that'll bother you. You know, it plays
I'm sure it will.
You wonder what you look like, who you look like.
But I would think as a parent, that shouldn't just wait on the child. If I had a child out there somewhere, I'd be looking for my kid. Like I had nieces and nephews. I've been looking for the ones I should have had that I looked for forever, and one found us because we always put stuff out there. You know what I'm saying? And she found us, and she come around all the time. But I'm saying it takes both parties if you really want to know. You can't just have a child. What if you have other kids and then your child you gave away
and messing with one of their family members and
end up together? Yeah, like
happens a lot.
Cheryl is. That's my favorite cousin. I don't care who get mad. Me and Cheryl grew up like sisters instead of cousins.
Yeah, my cousin.
That's terrible. That'd be awful.
He said I found them through Social Security in Hickory. Wow. But you know, if you put in names on Google, it'll bring up like a whole list of family members. I Googled myself and I was like, damn. I was like, wow.
A lot of people come in there.
I get this off here. Yeah. But Red, you might need to ask your aunt. She might know. Because they were kind of close. The family was kind of close, so she may know. Just ask. It don't hurt to ask. But But yeah, so you know. What else you think, Tay?
I don't know, because I just think it's sad whenever, especially like your friend's situation. She's raised her since she was a baby. That's all she knows. So I feel like that's very messed up for her to want to come back. It's okay for her to want to come back in her life, but the right way.
Right.
Like on Shelly's terms, not on nobody else's terms. Like if she wants her to see her, then okay, why would you take that child and take her to chaos? Like that's not right. You're only going to hurt her.
I agree with
that. You're not going to hurt nobody. Of course, she'll be hurt, but you're going to hurt that child. Like mentally.
Yeah.
It's not
in more ways than
good.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not going to turn out good.
Hey, Flavio.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, Red. But yeah, you're right about that. Yeah. It should be, like Tay said, I think it should be
it'll mess
on the person's terms who raised the child.
Who raised the child. I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Yeah. Especially because I never took the right away from her.
Exactly. Right.
So why would you try to come back and do that to her when you know your child is in good care and she's going to be okay?
And the door was always open.
Right.
For you to come. You just chose not to because you felt like your life was more important than
so now
having to deal with a child.
Oh, somebody's just supposed to drop what they doing. Oh, here you go. No, that's not how it works.
Yeah, like you just dropping off a bag of laundry or dropping off an outfit that you just left at somebody's house.
You just left somewhere. Now it's like, okay, I can do this now. No, that's not how that works.
One said, okay, he said they told him a lot already. One said there's a lot of cousins, married cousins, because I got them in my family. Yeah, because people be lying about who the child belongs to. You know, that went on a lot back then. You know, back then, Miss Shirley talk about this too. You know, men had multiple families, one here, one across town, one out in the country somewhere. And, you know, and then sometimes they all knew about each other and it was, you know, they made it work. And sometimes they didn't. A friend of mine said he went to school, high school, all through high school with this dude and never knew he was his brother until they graduated.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because people do all kinds of, you know, back then people was a beast at hiding shit. You think they can hide? Now these days they don't give a damn. But back then they had to hide and cover up stuff because people were more proud back then. You know
right. I think right.
And they cared about if they made their families look bad and stuff like that. But now they don't give a damn. Cousins having babies by cousins and know it.
Baby's coming out completely retarded because of the mixing the blood.
Husbands, whatever the case may be, like who raised y'all? When did this start happening? I just be confused.
Yeah.
Red said, Shelly, that must be some good gum.
When I tell you a sister girl is hungry, I'm hungry, y'all. I'm hungry. This gum, if I take it out, I'm probably gonna start pinching all kinds of stuff around me to eat. I'm trying to wait.
What you ate today?
Nothing. This morning I had bacon and grits. That's it. I swear. I'm so hungry.
When have you ever just had bacon and grits in a day?
Because I ain't been able to get I had a situation at work, had a situation at home. It was too much going on for me to even think.
This would be the first time in almost 30 years that I've known that to happen.
That's why this gum tastes so good. See, my bag of food is right there. I just don't want to eat. I don't want to be in the screen like, so I'm like, let me wait.
Man, Tay had some good food. We went to this little
I saw the spot on the thing, yeah.
It was good. But I couldn't eat it. I changed my eating habits, so I can eat like this much and I'm full. And I'll be drinking all this water all day.
That's a good thing. You're gonna be bikini.
Yeah, you and Tay, I keep cussing her out because she don't like to drink water either. I said, you and Shelly, y'all gonna wait till y'all get older and be wishing y'all had some of this good old water.
I don't like it, Tay. I'm with you on that one, honey.
Tay drink tea, Pepsis, and sun drops. And now she just stopped drinking soda, so now she just on sun drop.
Now, I do drink cranberry juice and like, you know, I don't drink soda.
That is not water.
Oh, it made me pee. I pee.
Anyway, y'all, back to the topic. He said, girl, you better eat.
She gonna
do that.
It is nearby. When it hit 9 o'clock, I'll be like, she'll alive and feel a bird. It'll be like, bye.
Time to go.
It's gonna be a wrap.
And me and Tay trying to get to the store before 10 o'clock so we can go find something that I don't need.
Liquor?
No, liquor, no. Liquor store. Tay don't drink.
What you gonna buy?
I haven't drank, Ross.
Clothes.
Yeah. I haven't drank since I said I wasn't. Nothing.
What you trying to find at Ross right now?
Just want to go, cause she about like you, but you do it online. She like to go to the store.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, I don't shop like that. I don't like it. But into who, y'all? People, when people taking care of your kids, be thankful and be grateful that they
be grateful that somebody else sacrificed their time. There's nothing like getting up in the middle of the night, taking the baby to the hospital, changing them when they shit all over the place, cleaning up vomit, waking up all in the middle of the night because the baby's crying because something else ain't right. How dare you want to come back and get something from somebody and you ain't did nothing? The hard part is over.
Not to speak the financial part.
That baby don't even know what it feels like to wear the same thing twice.
Right. That part.
Amen.
Girl, stop. You know,
Yeah, but Yeah, but people just be so ungrateful and act like you have to do these things. You don't have to do that.
You don't have
That's
to do
somebody's
nothing.
baby that came out of a whole nother body, and somebody is good enough to me, pretty much heaven sent to be able to take care of these kids and take care of them the right way. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like you said, they don't know chaos. They don't know what it is to go without. You know what I'm saying? Or somebody yelling and screaming at them and not talking to them like they're a person. Because one
Right,
thing
that
I
part.
hate to see is when people out cursing their little girls out and stuff, calling them bitches and stuff. Like, and the baby ain't but
Like
2
it's
3 years
cool. And it's
old.
not. Right. A child
Like
raising a
what?
child.
What? Who? No, I ain't
Who
never
does
talked to the
this?
kids like
No.
that.
Uh-uh.
Never.
I don't think I even did that when I was young.
No, you don't do that.
Nope.
One said either way you think about it, it's an effed up situation. It is one. It
It
is.
is.
It is. It's messed up because you know you don't know the sacrifice that somebody is making to take care of your child.
Right.
Especially when you have kids of your own that have grown or almost grown or pretty much out of the way, and you starting over from scratch, putting your whole life on hold for somebody else's child just to give them a better life, and then you're gonna come at somebody sideways like they owe you something and they're the one taking care of your kid and think you're gonna come in and dictate whatever's going on in them people's house with that child, and you haven't so much as lifted a finger to help them. Boy, no, y'all need to quit this mess, because what's gonna happen is somebody gonna end up messed up, and then somebody gonna end up fighting. Somebody gonna get their ass whooped. Somebody gonna call the police. They're gonna take the child out of the house, and you got to open DSS case. The child's still going through traumatic shit.
Thank you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes anybody should be able to control your temper, but anybody can only take so much. You know what I'm saying? And some people like to go until they push that button, so to the person just snap and be like, "What? You said what?" And then there you go. That's a whole another can of worms.
That's
So
true.
people are very ungrateful though. They act like you're supposed to do this.
No.
Not that you're doing out of the goodness and the kindness of your heart,
You're not
and just
supposed
because
to
you
do
have
nothing.
love in you to do this for a child, another person's
Look, my
child.
kids are grown and about to be all gone. One gone and one on the way to be gone.
Yeah, like you started from scratch. Like
I
you
started
had
from
a
scratch.
baby. You just didn't birth the baby, but you had a baby.
Yeah, pretty much so.
Same thing. You got to do everything the same way.
But
But
at the end of the day, no love lost.
yeah, well, that's
You
like
know?
even when I was young, I had my oldest daughter at 21, and I get up and go, honey, look, like I do now. I kept me in her backpack. When I moved, she moved. I took her everywhere I
Right.
went. Everywhere I went. If I'm in New York, if I'm in wherever, Jersey, wherever I was
Go
going,
with you.
her ass be right there on my hip with me. I didn't play that leaving her with nobody. And my mama told me,
Yeah.
if you have them, you take care of them, and that's it. That's why they 10 years apart, because I ain't planning on having no more. But I wouldn't change it for the world. But I'm just saying, when you're thrown different situations, you got to man up. You got to
Right.
put your girl panties on and do what you got to do. That's it.
That's all I know, how to put them on and keep them moving, honey. I don't know no easy way of
You know
it.
how to take them
Nobody
off
helped me
too.
along the path. Nobody gave me a pamphlet and said, this is what it is.
You hear what I said?
Huh?
I said, you know how to take them off too.
I know, right? That part. Oh, so well. Oh,
Uh,
no. I had to learn, honey. Learn it real quick.
heck
Became
yeah.
a mama. But yeah,
Yep,
just it's the way the world rumbles. It is what it is.
for real. People make excuses. They make
All the
excuses
time.
all the time. So, if you get, like I always say, you got to play the hand that's dealt to you. It ain't
Yes.
always fair and it ain't always
It ain't
easy.
always gonna be
But if
good.
it's
It ain't
dealt
always gonna
to
be what you
you,
want.
you got to make it do what it do. That's why I tell my kids all the time, you got to be self-sufficient, because I'm not going to always be here to pick up the pieces. So you got to know how to take care of yourself. If you have kids, you take care of your own kids.
Mm-hmm.
One said, well, I'm going to say good night to your beautiful black queens. See y'all Wednesday on your live. Today is Wednesday one.
Which
Where you
means
at? We talking
tomorrow.
about Thursday. What you been drinking?
One. Are we
Just
woke here?
asking, because today is Wednesday one.
Yeah, just make sure, do the right thing if you have somebody's kid. If you know somebody raised your child all their lives, don't come back being messy. Don't come back with being vindictive. Don't come back trying to shake up a kid's life. All you're hurting is the kid in the long run.
So, okay. So, what if, just say it's one of us,
Mm-hmm.
and it's you're with the man and he brings his child into the relationship and the mother is estranged. And then all of a sudden you've raised that child from however long since you and him been together, say like 10 years or whatever. Then she come, I don't want her around my kid, but you ain't never been around your kid. And then he be like, well, she want to see him, and start making like excuses as to why she has a right to come in there and just pretty much do what she want to do, dictate when she gonna see the child, and ain't been there for you. Been the mother, and because you his woman, you been the mother to them kids, and then she gonna come in because she feels some type of way because he with somebody. Because when he had him by himself, it was okay, but now that he has somebody, it's a problem. So what would you do at that point and be like, well, wait a minute, and he coming to you, well, we've been talking, and this is her, her child too, and blah blah blah. I'll be like, okay,
but that would be where the man should stand up and say, hey,
exactly.
She been here, she been doing her part, she been taking care of this kid, and you gotta respect her. It's kind of like Jada and Will Smith situation where Jada said, "We not finna have this confusion," and she went to the mother of Will Smith's first son and said, look, we gonna get along. We're gonna like each other for the sake of this child. And they have a very good. And she hated Jada she didn't like her at all. Mm-hmm. But Jada had to sit her down like a woman and say, hey, I'm gonna be in this boy's life, whether you
and
like me or not.
And everything together.
And now they get along. You see what I'm saying? So it just depends on how you set the tone for that. But you give up your rights when you give up your rights. Period. You have no right to walk back in nobody's life and disrupt it after you done walked away. You don't.
You don't. It's a maturity level.
It's one thing if you gave it up because you couldn't take care of it, you didn't know what to do. That's different. But if you have sound mind and sound brain, and you just don't want the responsibility, you want to run the street, dude. No, you don't. You give up that because somebody else gave up their freedom. It's not right.
No, it's not.
The saddest thing though about the court system, the court system can have a mother. The mother can be on drugs, get herself cleaned up, come back and say 5 years later and be like, I want my kid. And the courts will grant it on the grounds that she's better. Look at the movie with Halle Berry when she came back for the little boy. And they took that little boy out that white lady's house. And what she ended up doing, she ended up taking the baby right back to that white woman, because guess what? That baby didn't know her. Didn't know her at all.
Yeah.
You can't do that. You have to think of what, and I always say, if you love your kid so much, you're gonna love your kid enough to say, this is gonna mess up something. This is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt a lot. And love them enough to say they happy where they at. Let them continue being happy. And I'm gonna love them from afar. And that's it.
Right.
That's it.
That's it. And then some kids don't want to be bothered with their parents like that. They be like, you got me away. I don't want nothing to do to you. And then you have those people that raise, at least meet them at least once. And they be like, no, for what? Right. You don't need to at all.
Because there's parents that give up their kids when they're first born. Yeah. Because they can't take care of them, or they might be in a situation where they're young and their mothers make the decision for them and say, you're not bringing this kid home, and they give the child away, and the mother may mourn that kid for years and years on end trying to find their child. That's different scenarios. You talk about a scenario when somebody takes your kid, raises it to a certain point, and then you come back and say, oh, no. Okay, now I want to come back. They're walking, they're talking, they're moving, they're grooving, and now I want to come back and shake that up. No, you have no right to that. You have none. You have none. Not as far as I'm concerned. You have none. You just don't.
I agree with that.
It doesn't work. There's another way. This is not playing basketball. We're not running around here. We don't. That's not what we do. I think it's sad though. I've seen it happen. So many times. You look at my brother's situation with my dad. His mother did the same thing. Didn't want him to know my father, not because of no reason, because she was bitter. And he went his whole life thinking my father did not like him and did not want him, until one day, many moons later, when he was 40 something years old, she decided to tell him, hey, he did look for you. He did come to see what you was, and I didn't let him. But you made this boy suffer and all his life thinking that nobody wanted him. Like, as a mother, how do you do that? How do you do that and live with yourself every day, knowing this kid is coming to you saying, hey, is my dad? Did he write a letter? Did he ask for me? Did he look for me? Did he send something? And all you tell him is nope, 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 nope. That becomes a sting after. After a while, you stop looking.
And that's what makes a lot of young men turn to the streets. Because they don't
find love. Find love somewhere else.
They're trying to find that male father figure, that male role model that they can look up to. And then you, unbeknownst to you, unknowingly, you sending your son right out there into the streets.
Some people can fight it. But, I hear stories like, not my daughter. She says, like, when her mother divorced her, and I hear the stuff that she went through. And remember, I took her when she was like 13. And when I got her, she was so bad, but she was so mentally messed up in the mind that it was like, what did somebody do to you? And she came at me a lot of the times really hard because she was so angry and so used to everybody leaving. And the fact that I stuck with her, it was always like, you're going to leave too. It was always that. And no matter what she did, that was enough to make you want to pull out your hair. I was like, I'm going to love you and I'm going to continue loving you. And one day you're going to give in to me. And she did. Eventually she was just like, okay, Ma, you ain't going nowhere. No, I'm not. I'm here. And you wearing me out, girl. She knew. Yeah, you wearing, I'm tired. You are wearing me the hell out. I've been here. You done dragged me all around the place. I'm still here. But that moment, and I remember we went to her prom and her mother came. And she calls me Ma. So we in the hotel room and her mother's sitting on the bed. I'm sitting here doing her hairstyle and her makeup. And she goes, Ma. And we both look up. That was crazy. And she was like, this Ma, like this Ma. And I'm like, oh, how weird did that just feel to me? But then I'm thinking, you signed your parental rights away when this girl, you went to a courtroom and divorced your own kid. Like,
why did she do that?
She didn't like her. She just divorced her. She just divorced her. And that hurts. And, and that's the one thing that girl carries every day of her life. Like, no matter what she does, she knows that. And I'm glad I was able to fill a void. I was able to be there and be that. And thank God that God gave me, to me, it's a gift to be able to love somebody like that. And for her to look at me like, I guess, to her, I'm her world. It's like, that's my mom.
God places us in different places different times for different people. You know what I'm saying? We may not know what we're there for, but he'll soon show you what you're there for. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And every time she jumped out a window and ran away from foster care, she was right at my door getting me in trouble. I was like, little girl, you're going to get me arrested. You can't run away and come here.
If they would rather be with you. I agree with that, Matthew. Yeah. It's a fact for the kid if they want to be with you.
But I don't want doors. I raised a lot of kids, man. I done took a lot of kids in. Just I like them little babies. I'd rather if I could open a home and just take them all, I would. And embrace them and just try to. I think a lot of times kids just need to be loved, man. They just want somebody to hold them and say, "Hey, it's gonna be okay. We gonna get through this."
Kids come through my door too, through my house. It's just fall on me, just like oh. And you just feel all of that pain they have. You're like, oh my God. You just start talking.
It's sad.
Love on. You know how I am. I'm always loving and hugging and kissing on the babies.
But you see how like my son's friends, when they come, they all in there and they're like, this is like our place to escape. And it's a lot of them. There's a bunch of them and they're everywhere. They're like, man, your mom is like way cool, man. She like lets us, and they're like, this is like our home, escaping our home. And I'm like, damn, well, how bad can it be? You look at Jillian's
I'm so glad that ain't my house no more.
You look at Jillian's girlfriend.
Kind of, sort of, but not like that anymore. It used to be.
Like how you have a parent that never tells you that they love you ever in your whole life.
Matthew said we older kids like to be hugged too.
Well, come on, Matthew, let us give you a hug, baby. We giving big grown hugs too.
Look, my baby about to be 20 next week. My oldest one is 30, and I still love and hug and kiss all on them. Like they little kids, but they my little kids.
You gotta love on these kids, man. Y'all got
even Jalen. Look, my guy, baby, he be like Aunt Vaughn. He just come.
Aunt Vaughn, he be loving her every time she come. When she coming, she leaving? No, she can't leave. Everything she gotta be there. She gotta be there. He thinks she make me sane, y'all. Little does he know she drives me crazy.
No, he want me there to keep her out of his hair.
Out of his hair.
Yeah, mine.
Pretty much, that's the bottom line. If she's around, I don't bother him.
Yeah. Now y'all really see who bothers who.
Yeah, I be driving him crazy because he be doing this stuff.
She nerve-wracking. But anyway, y'all, Shelly got to go eat it. We've been on for an hour and 4 minutes.
And I'm hungry.
Over her feeding time. So, with that being said, y'all, stay tuned for this good stuff we got coming up. We're going to tell y'all. We're going to keep telling y'all till y'all get it.
We're excited, y'all. We got some good things about to be popping
Yeah.
off. But we keep pushing it. But let me tell y'all one thing. When we air this stuff, y'all got to follow instructions. You know, we keep telling y'all to go to YouTube and y'all can't seem to find your way there. But we ain't going to say nothing because you're going to come on this page when Be Love Bird and Shut It Live ain't going to be here. You ain't going to have no choice but to go to the ones we send you to see this podcast.
Or listen to it. Yeah.
That part.
So anyway, y'all, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Thank you for my friend over here in the cut, Tay Tay, who didn't want to show her face, but we got her input.
Good night, y'all.
We love y'all. We will see you guys tomorrow. This is Shelly Live and Be Love Bird.
Loving life.
And loving what we do. Good night. Hold on, y'all. Let me play the song.
You know she don't never have it ready, y'all. I don't know if you get it.
She distracted me. She distracted me, y'all. I'll sing it for y'all. Hell.
You're now tuned into Naughty or Nice. Let's go.
Me don't want no fake love, me only want the real deal. Me don't want no fake love, me only want the real deal. Me don't want no fake love, me only want the real deal.
Shelly Live
want no fake love,
and Be Love Bird. Have you ever met a sister with her shit together? Maintaining, never complaining, trying to make shit better. She's got a real good life with the right frame of mind. She's the real deal, baby, and she know how to grind. On the job or in the bedroom, baby, the truth. And with her by your side, homeboy, you can't lose. Just slip on the dress and go to work like a pro. Then bring that ass home and drop it down to the floor. Educated, sophisticated, conversation so deep. She's a lady in that world, but a freak in the sheets. Educated, sophisticated, conversation so deep. She's the lady in that world, but a freak in the sheets.
Shelly Live and Be Love Bird.
Shelly Live and Be Love Bird.
Shelly Live and Be Love Bird.
Yeah.
Shelly Live and Be Love Bird.
Shelly Live and Be Love Bird.
Shelly Live and Be Love.
Y'all.
Good night.
Yum, yum, eat them up.